We're gonna begin. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chanda Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chanda Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chanda Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. All right, we're reading from Sri Caitanya Charitamrita by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, translations and purports by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prachardane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschachade Shatarane. Reading from Adi-lila, Chapter 4, The Confidential Reasons for the Lord's Appearance, starting from text 68.
68.
Okay. Ladinira Sara Prema Prema Sara Bhava Bhavera Parama Kashta Nama Mahabhava.
The essence of the Halandini potency is love of God. The essence of love of God is emotion, bhava. And the ultimate development of emotion is Mahabhava.
Okay, you go ahead.
Yeah. The product of the Halandini Shakti is love of God, which has two divisions, namely pure love of Godhead and adulterated love of Godhead. Only when Halandini Shakti emanates from Sri Krishna is bestowed upon the living being to attract him, does the living being become a pure lover of God. But when the same Halandini Shakti is adulterated by the external material energy and emanates from the living beings, it does not attract Krishna. On the contrary, the living being becomes attracted by the glamour of the material energy. At that time, instead of becoming mad with the love of Godhead, the living being becomes mad after material sense enjoyment. And because of his association with the qualitative moods of material nature, he is captivated by its interactions of distressful, unhappy feelings.
Thank you. Yeah, so we're talking about these three potencies, right? Remember what they are?
Samvit and Sandhini.
Yeah, so Sandhini is the potency of existence, right? Samvit is the potency of knowledge, and Hladini is the pleasure-giving potency, represented by Srimati Radharani, right? So in the last class, we talked a lot about some Sandhini and Samvit Shaktis, and now we're going to talk about the Hladini Shakti. So Krishnadas Kaviraj says that Hladini Shakti, the potency of, Hladini potency is love of God and all the emotions connected with love of God. And that's in its pure state. But Hladini Shakti, also when it's, Prabhupada says, adulterated by the material energy, then it doesn't come from Krishna, it comes from the conditioned soul. Then it doesn't attract Krishna, but it makes the living being become attracted by the material energy. So, yeah, that's basically what Krishna talks about in the Bhagavad Gita about love being transformed into lust, right, by the mode of passion. So he says that, where is that? Chapter 3, I think he's talking about how love for Krishna, when it comes in contact with the mode of passion, it gets transformed into lust in the same way that milk, when it comes in contact with some sour agent like tamarind, he mentions there tamarind, then it becomes curdled, becomes curd. So, so we have to not allow our love for Krishna to be in contact with the mode of passion. Otherwise, it ends up bad. Of course, it's already too late because here we are in the material world because of the mode of passion. Someone needs to mute. There you go. So yeah, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita also that all living beings are born into the material world due to Icha, Dvesha, Samudbhava, due to the being bewildered by Icha and Dvesha, desire and hate. So desire comes from passion, hate comes from ignorance. So we're here because of the influence of the modes of passion and ignorance. And the way that they influence us is to make our love for Krishna turn into lust. And then that lust attracts us to material enjoyment and sense gratification. And it binds us more and more tightly to the material world. So anyways, that's already happened, right? Like our love for Krishna is not there, and our attraction to the material energy and enjoying the material things of this world is there.
Yes.
So now it's like the damage is done. And now we need to rectify it, right? We need to, the good thing is that lust can be transformed back into love by following the processes of bhakti, by getting elevated above the modes of passion in ignorance, coming to a mode of goodness, and then through bhakti, coming to the spiritual platform, and recovering from our madness, as we become mad after sense enjoyment. So, yeah, and that's because of our association with the modes of nature. So if we can rise above the modes of nature, then we can get freed from this madness, and we can be our sane, real selves in the service of Krishna. And then instead of being influenced by this adulterated, perversion of the Hladini Shakti, we can be influenced by the pure Hladini Shakti, which will make us able to love Krishna again. Okay. All right. So
It means like an association. No? If we have a bad association, because
we go down. If you're good association, we go up. Yeah, the key thing is really association. So they say that if you know a person by their company. Right? So if we keep company with pure devotees who love Krishna, then we're going to love Krishna.
Yeah.
If we keep company with materialistic people who love sense gratification, we're going to start loving sense gratification, thinking that that's the way to be happy. So then Krishnadas Kaviraj goes beyond that to say that the essence of love of God is emotion, bhava, and then the ultimate development of emotion is mahabhav. So mahabhav is the highest manifestation of love of God, where it's so intense that the emotions become overwhelming and impelling and just all-consuming. Yeah. And now we're going to hear about that. So text 69. Mahabhava Swarupa Shri Radha Thakurani Sarva Guna Kani Krishna Kanta Shiromani. Sneha?
Translations. Shri Radha Thakurani is the embodiment of Mahabhava. She is a repository of all good qualities and the crest jewel among all the lovely consorts of Lord Krishna. Purport. The unadulterated action of the Hladini Shakti is displayed in the dealings of the damsels of Raja and Srimati Radharani, who is the topmost participant in the transcendental group. The essence of the Hladini Shakti is love of Godhead. The essence of love of Godhead is bhava, or transcendental sentiment, and the highest pitch of that bhava is called Mahabhava. Srimati Radharani is personified embodiment of these aspects of transcendental consciousness. She is therefore the highest principle in love of Godhead and is a supreme lovable object of Sri Krishna.
Very nice. Yes, so Radharani is the essence of the Hladini Shakti. It's nice how he says, yeah, the highest pitch of that bhav. It's like musical notes. You say someone's singing on a high pitch. It's like, it's like the high pitch. When something becomes it's like, when you have a musical instrument, let's say you have a flute, right? So if the flute is long, it makes lower. The shorter the flute becomes, the more high pitch it is, right? So, or if you have a drum, a big drum makes a boom, boom, boom. Small drum makes tuk 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 tuk, right, like that, like Lord Shiva. Taka, 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 taka. So, so the idea is that Srimati Radharani's love for Krishna is so condensed, right? It's like if you take milk and so much milk, big pot of milk, and you boil down, boil down, boil down, boil down, condensed milk, and then you get burfi, right? Milk that's so condensed, it's solidified. So Srimati Radharani's like love is so big, but it's like it's condensed, and then it becomes like high pitch, very intense love for Krishna. Okay. And because she loves Krishna so much, then she loves Krishna more than anyone, then Krishna reciprocates, right? He loves her more than anyone. So the more we love Krishna, the more he loves us back. No one can ever love Krishna as much as Radharani does. So she's always the best devotee. Text 70. Tayor apyubayor madhye radhika sarvatadika mahabhava sarupeyam gunar ativariyasi.
Of these two gopis, Radharani and Chandravali, Srimati Radharani is superior in all respects. She is the embodiment of Mahabhav and she surpasses all in good qualities. This is a quotation from Srila Rupa Goswami's Ujjwal Nilamuni, Radha Prakaran 3.
All right, yeah. So this is confirming that Srimati Radharani is the best of all the gopis. Well, out of all the devotees, the gopis are the best, and out of all the gopis, there's 8 principal gopis, and out of all those 8 principal gopis, there's 2 gopis that are very highly advanced in love for Krishna, and that's Chandravali and Srimati Radharani. They're actually sisters. And out of those 2, we're going to hear from Srila Rupa Goswami, Srimati Radharani is superior in all respects. Radhika Sarvatadika, that she is greater in Sarvata, in every way, Adhika, greater.
What happens to Chandravali at the end? Like Radharani is one side, Chandravali at the end, other side. So what happens at the
What happens?
Yeah, like does Chandravali wins ever, or what is the situation?
I mean, sometimes she's successful in like
Getting
delaying Krishna. Yeah, like
Delaying.
Krishna's on his way to go see Radharani and he gets sidetracked and goes to Chandravali, and then after he shows up late to meet Radharani. Yeah, yes, she strategizes to try to get Krishna away from before he gets to Radharani.
He is not among the 8.
She is. Yeah. Radharani has her own 8 Ashtasakis, but the main 8 are 4 on Radharani's side and 4 on Chandravali's side. Like that. Yeah. But in Gaudiya Vaishnavism, we don't look at it that way. We look only at Radharani's gopis as the most important gopis.
I have a question.
Just yeah.
Wait. Arjuna also has a class. Stop echoing a little bit. Sorry. You said that 4 of the Ashtasakis are in Chandravali's camp?
No, not our Ashtasakis that we think of as Ashtasakis.
Oh, okay.
You know, like the Ashtasakis on the altar in Mayapur, that's all, they're all Radharani's Sakis. But when in the Bhagavatam, when it mentions about the Ashtasakis, it's not those Ashtasakis. It's 4 of them, and then 4 that are Chandravali and 3 others, basically. Chandravali, Shaibya, Padma, and another one.
Yeah, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Because there's a, yeah, that has to do with the intensity of their, I mean, from Radharani's perspective, there are those 8 that we know. But from Krishna's perspective, he has a different way of looking at it. Okay, text 71. Krishna prema bhavita yanra chitendriya kaya Krishna nija shakti radha kridara sahaya. And Divya?
Hare Krishna. Sorry, are we on 71?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Her mind, senses, and body are steeped in love for Krishna. She is Krishna's own energy, and she helps him in his pastimes. Srimati Radharani is as fully spiritual as Krishna. No one should consider her to be material. She is definitely not like the conditioned souls, who have material bodies, gross and subtle, covered by material senses. She's all spiritual, and her body and her mind are of the same spiritual embodiment. Because her body is spiritual, her senses are also spiritual. Thus, her body, mind, and senses fully shine in love of Krishna. She is the personified Hladini Shakti, the pleasure-giving energy of the Lord's internal potency. And therefore, she is the only source of enjoyment for Sri Krishna. Sri Krishna cannot enjoy anything that is internally different from him. Therefore, Radha and Sri Krishna are identical. The Sandhini portion of Sri Krishna's internal potency has manifested the all-attractive form of Sri Krishna, and the same internal potency in the Hladini feature has presented Srimati Radharani, who is the attraction for all attractive. No one can match Srimati Radharani in the transcendental pastimes of Sri Krishna.
Thank you. Yeah, so we were just saying that Radharani has some competitors, right? Like Chandravali. And yet Prabhupada says that Radharani is the only source of enjoyment for Sri Krishna. So if Radharani is the only source of enjoyment, then how is it that he's delaying meeting with Radharani to go meet with Chandravali?
Because Radharani is that he wants to play with Radharani.
Yeah, okay, so it's accentuating their Radha and Krishna's loving exchanges by invoking some flavors of Radharani's personality that he enjoys.
Yeah, because if you get late, expecting and
Yeah.
She wants to create probably that.
Right. So then when Krishna goes to, but how can Krishna enjoy himself with Chandravali if Radharani is the only source of enjoyment?
She is also devotee, but she's not 100%. 9%.
Radharani and Chandravali are sisters.
Divya, what do you think?
Well, isn't she like also an expansion of Radharani?
Yeah, she's an expansion of Radharani. So she's also Radharani. So that's why how Krishna can enjoy himself with Chandravali is because she's not different from Radharani. And that's what the next verse here. Now Krishna's Kaviraj is going to quote this verse from Brahma Samhita that says exactly that. Ananda chinmaya rasa pratibhavitabhis tabirya eva nijarupataya kalabhi goloka eva nivasatya kilatma bhutto govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Do you want to read Drista? Do you have it there? Or Arjuna?
I feel like I should.
Okay. Are you guys together? Arjuna, you want to read? Arjuna's in another.
Akash on to the next one.
Okay. How about you, Nikesh?
Sure. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who resides in his own realm, Goloka, with Radha, who resembles his own spiritual figure and who embodies the aesthetic potency. Dini, their companions are her confidants, who embody extension of her bodily form and who are imbued and permeated with ever blissful spiritual rasa.
Okay, so that's from Brahma Samhita 537. Yeah, so it's saying here that Radha and Krishna's companions are her confidants. So we're talking about the gopis, right? The Radharani's confidants. And it says that they embody extensions of her bodily form and are imbued and permeated with her ever blissful spiritual rasa. So that's why Krishna likes all the gopis, is because they're all different expansions of Radharani. Okay, text 73. Krishnere karaya yaiche rasa asvadana Kridara sahaya yaiche shuna vivarana. Okay, Arjuna. 73. It was too fast for him. All right, then Arjuna will wait for you to come later. All right, now please listen to how Lord Krishna's consorts help him taste rasa and how they help in his pastimes. All right, so now we're going to hear how Krishna's consorts, the gopis, help him to taste rasa. This is very interesting. Text 74, 75. Krishna Kanta Gana Deki Trividha Prakara Eka Lakshmi Gana Pure Mahishi Gana Ara. Mother Badi.
There is one more.
There's one more.
Oh, Rajangana Rupa Ara Kanta Gana Sara Shiradika Haite Kanta Ganera Vistara.
But below sorts of Krishna, three kinds. Goddess of fortune, the queen, the milkmaids of Raja. Who are the foremost of all? The consorts of all proceed from the Radhika. That means Raja itself.
Yeah, so not only is Radharani, not only are the gopis, other gopis in Vrindavan expansions from Srimati Radharani, but so are the queens in Dwarka. They're also expansions of Radharani. And so are all the Lakshmis in Vaikuntha. Any goddesses, any consorts. Yeah, we're gonna hear that in the next verse. 76. Avatari Krishna Yaiche Kare Avatara Amshini Radha Haite Tina Ganera Vistara. Sneha.
Just as the fountainhead, Lord Krishna is cause of all incarnations. So Sri Radha is the cause of all these consorts.
Yeah, remember when on Radhastami? I was giving a class here on Radhastami and I was speaking about this point. Radhastami is the appearance day of Srimati Radharani. So I was saying how Radharani is the Adi Shakti. She's the source of all the different consorts of the Lord in all of his incarnations. So Lakshmi, who's the consort of Lord Vishnu or Lord Narayan in Vaikuntha, is an expansion of Srimati Radharani. And sometimes she takes on different forms, like for Varahadev, then it doesn't look like Varahadev has a consort. But Srimati Radharani becomes the earth, right? Because Varahadev goes down and he picks up the earth on his tusks. So that earth is the representation of Radharani for Varahadev. And then for, what was some other ones? Vamadev? I can't remember. Some are that I were, yeah. Oh, for Ramachandra, she's Sita. And for, well, there was one interesting one that for Parashuram, Radharani appears as his axe. So whatever is like that thing that is inseparable from the Lord and which is very like a key element of his pastimes, that's Radharani comes to serve. And then if they have a wife or, consort, then that's Radharani. Otherwise, there's and then she even comes when the Lord comes as Shakti Vaishavatars, also she comes. So for example, for Narada Muni, Radharani manifests in a partial form as his Veena. And for Matsya Avatar, then Radharani is the Vedas.
He said that.
And for Dhanvantari, Radharani is the healing herb. Like that. Okay, so Radharani is, wherever there's Krishna, there's Radharani in some form. He doesn't come without Radharani in some form. Text 77. Vaibhava Gana Yena Tanra Anga Vibhuti Bimba Prati Bimba Rupa Mahishira Tati.
The goddess of fortune are partial manifestations of Srimati Radhika, and the queens are reflections of her image.
Yeah, so those Lakshmis are goddesses of fortune of Vaikuntha. They're manifestations of Radharani, but they're only partial manifestations. Radharani is much more glorious than Lakshmis. Lakshmi Gana Tanra Vaibhava Vilasham Sharupa Mahishi Gana Vaibhava Prakasha Swarupa. Divya?
The goddess of fortune are her plenary portions, and they display the forms of Vaibhav Vilas. The queens are of the nature of her Vaibhav Prakash.
Remember we were talking about the difference between Vilas and Prakash. That the Vilas ones, what was it?
Vilasa,
Vilas is the
it's not full, like
Yeah, it's partial.
partial.
yeah, Prakash is
Yeah.
Themselves. Yeah. So the queens we hear, like if you read Rupa Goswami's book, Lalita Madhava, it talks about how actually the gopis of Vrindavan, they are all in different kind of mystical ways. When Krishna went to Dwarka, they left Vrindavan and went to Dwarka, and they remanifested themselves there as the queens of Dwarka. Like Radharani became Satyabhama and Chandravali became Rukmini and like that. So that's why it's saying that these queens are Vaibhav Prakash. They're actually the gopis, whereas the Vaibhav Vilas means partial. 79. Akara Swabhava Bedhe Raja Devi Gana Kaya Vyuha Rupa Tanra Rasera Karana. Nikesh?
The Brasa Devis have diverse bodily features. They are her expansions and are the instruments for expanding rasa.
Yeah, so that's why there are so many gopis. They're all expansions of Radharani, but the reason that they exist is to expand the pastimes, right? Expand the pleasure, basically, right? Hladini potency means pleasure-giving potency, and more expansions of pleasure-giving potency means more pleasure is given to Krishna and also to each other, right? Because the devotees also enjoy. So you see how, if you read about Radha and Krishna Lila, you see how the gopis all assist Srimati Radharani. They serve Krishna in different ways. They facilitate the pastimes. They make everything more wonderful for the divine couple. So they expand the rasa.
They're expert in the different ways, each one.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just like, it's like more fun to have more people around if you're having a party, right? More people, it's more fun because they all bring like each person, they bring like a different flavor, different mood to the mix. And then those different personalities come together and they make it interesting. So like that. As long as they're not like fighting with each other or antagonistic, right? So in the case of Krishna and
But they're
the
very
gopis.
cooperative. Okay.
That's what I'm saying. No, but I'm saying like if you have a birthday party and you invite many people and they start fighting amongst each other, it's not so fun. But the gopis don't do that.
They're very friendly. They're perfect.
Yeah, they're always helping each other, so it's good. That's how we should be as devotees, right? We should cooperate with each other for the pleasure of the divine couple. Text 80. Bahu kanta vina nahe rasera ulasa lila sahaya lagi bahuta prakasha. Arjuna, would you like to read?
Yes. Without
Yay.
many consorts, there is not such exultation in rasa. Therefore, there are many manifestations of Srimati Radharani to assist in the Lord's pastimes.
Yeah, the word ulas is a nice word. It means, Prabhupada translates exaltation. Sometimes it just means like enthusiasm, right? Like it's uplifting, enthusiastic, bubbly, it's like, so all of those different gopis, they make everything increasingly joyful and full of enthusiasm, and yeah, everything is bubbly. Okay. Tara madhye vraje nana bhava rasa bede Krishna ke karaya rasa dika lila svare. Among them are various groups of consorts in Vraj who have various varieties of sentiments and mellows. They help Lord Krishna taste all the sweetness of the rasa dance and other pastimes. Yes, so that's the point, is that they have different sentiments and different mellows. Mellows means moods, yeah. Bhava, rasa, bede. Bede means different. So different bhavas means different feelings or moods, and rasa means different, yeah, like flavors, tastes. Mm. So
Today's Rasa dance.
huh?
Today's Rasa dance.
Today's the night they have the rasa dance. So all these gopis are making the rasa dance nice, sweet. Purport. As already explained, Krishna and Radha are one in two. They are identical. Krishna expands himself in multi-incarnations and plenary portions like the Purushas. Similarly, Srimati Radharani expands herself in multi-forms as the goddesses of fortune, the queens, and the damsels of Raj. Such expansions from Srimati Radharani are all her plenary portions. All these womanly forms of Krishna are expansions corresponding to his plenary expansions of Vishnu forms. These expansions have been compared to reflected forms of the original form. There is no difference between the original form and the reflected forms. The female reflections of Krishna's pleasure potency are as good as Krishna himself. So, yeah, so all those gopis and queens and Lakshmis are all expansions of Radharani, and Radharani is expanding from Krishna. And so all of them are as good as Krishna himself, because they're all actually Krishna himself is coming from him. The plenary expansions of Krishna's personality are called Vaibhava Vilas and Vaibhava Prakash, and Radha's expansions are similarly described. The goddesses of fortune are her Vaibhava Vilas forms, and the queens are her Vaibhava Prakash forms. The personal associates of Radharani, the damsels of Raj, are direct expansions of her body. As expansions of her personal form and transcendental disposition, they are agents of different reciprocations of love in the pastimes of Lord Krishna under the supreme direction of Srimati Radharani. That's nice. It says that the gopis are agents of different reciprocations of love in the pastimes of Krishna. And Radharani is directing it all. In the transcendental realm, enjoyment is fully relished in variety. The exuberance of transcendental mellows is increased by the association of a large number of personalities similar to Radharani, who are also known as gopis or sakhis. The variety of innumerable mistresses is a source of relish for Sri Krishna, and therefore these expansions from Srimati Radharani are necessary for enhancing the pleasure potency of Sri Krishna. Their transcendental exchanges of love are the super excellent affairs of the pastimes in Vrindavan. By these expansions of Srimati Radharani's personal body, she helps Lord Krishna taste the rasa dance and other similar activities. Similarly, Srimati Radharani, being the central petal of the Adi-lila flower, is also known by the names found in the following verses. So, yeah, it's saying that by expanding her personal body into all the forms of the gopis, Radharani helps Krishna taste the rasa dance and other similar activities. So you see often in Radharani in Krishna's pastimes that Radharani will be wanting the gopis to be with Krishna, right? She's like, you go be with Krishna. And sometimes, like, I was reading a pastime about how they'll be sitting there, and then Lalita will be like, sit down here. And she'll make Lalita sit right next to Krishna. And then they'll just like start singing wedding songs and tying their cloth together. And like Radharani's like supervising this whole little wedding ceremony between Lalita and Krishna. And Lalita's like, no, what are you doing? And then it just becomes a lot of fun. So yeah, Radharani does that because because Lalita is also an expansion of her own form. And she knows that sometimes Krishna's in different moods and he wants to enjoy different, different rasa, different tastes, different personalities, but they're all Radharani. And so it's not like Krishna's ever with another woman. He's never ever with another woman. He's always only with Srimati Radharani, whether it's Radharani as Radharani or Radharani in one of the expansions of her own bodily form, but it's all Radharani. They're all Radharani in that sense. So Yeah, but Radharani's like, she's the pleasure-giving potency. So she's like, oh, Krishna, you like variety? You want to have a big dance with the many girls? Shoosh. Here they are. And they're all me in different shapes and sizes.
Like I don't remember reading someplace. All of them have different skin colors and
Yeah,
different color eyes and
yeah, different qualities,
yeah,
different
qualities,
talents.
different talent.
Okay, so now Krishna's, Srila Prabhupada says that we're going to hear about different names of Radharani. Govinda Nandini Radha Govinda Mohini Govinda Sarvasya Sarvakanta Shiromani. So we got Govinda Anandini, Radha, Govinda Mohini, Govinda Sarvasva, and Sarvakanta Shiromani. So if you ever become a guru, here's some names for your female disciples. Okay. Who's reading? Mother Radhe?
Yeah. Radha is the one who gives pleasure to Govinda, and she also the enchantress of Govinda. She is the be all and all of Govinda, and the crest jewel of all of his concert.
That's a nice name, Govinda Sarvasva, the be all and end all of Govinda.
Be all and end of all.
Yeah.
And she's there from the beginning to end.
Yeah, like she's his everything.
Yeah.
She's everything to him, the be all and the end all.
Yeah.
And then Sarvakanta Shiromani means the crest jewel of all of Krishna's lovers. Very nice. Text 83. Devi Krishna Mayi Prokta Radhika Pada Devata Sarva Lakshmi Mayi Sarva Kanti Sammohini Para. Sneha?
Is a central figure of form, goddesses of fortune. She possesses all the attractiveness to attract the all-attractive personality of the body. She is the primal internal potency of the Lord. Purple. This text is from Prabhupada Gautamya Tantra.
This is very, very poetic the way Prabhupada translates it. She possesses all the attractiveness to attract the all-attractive personality of Godhead. So Krishna's all attractive, but Radharani attracts him by her supreme all attractiveness.
Attract all attract.
She has all the attractiveness to attract the all attractive. That's why Krishna is called Madan Mohan, means who bewilders Cupid, but Radharani is called Madan Mohan Mohini. And bewilders the bewilderer of Cupid. And Cupid bewilders everyone, like all of us, conditioned souls. Text 84. Devi kahidyotamana parama sundari kimva Krishna puja krida vasati nagari.
Devi means reflected and most beautiful, or else it means the lovely abode of the worship and love sports of Lord Krishna.
She is called Devi, resplendent, most beautiful. Sometimes people say, when you have your name, something Devi Dasi. Sometimes people ask, what does Devi Dasi mean? So now we know what Devi means. It means resplendent, most beautiful, or the lovely abode of the worship and love sports of Lord Krishna. And we're the servant of that personality. Text 85. Krishnamayi Krishnaya Bitare Bahire Yanha Yanha Netra Pare Tanha Krishna Spure. Divya?
Krishna Mai means one who's within and without our Lord Krishna. She sees Lord Krishna wherever she casts her glance.
Yeah, so this Mayi literally means kind of like full of or made of. So yeah, one who's everything. Radharani is just all about Krishna. Inside, she's all about Krishna. Outside, she's all about Krishna. Everything about her is just Krishna, Krishna. And wherever she looks, she sees Krishna. That's Krishna consciousness. Text 86. Kimva prema rasamaya krishnera swarupa tanra shakti tanra sahaya ekarupa. Nikesh.
Or Krishnamai means that she is identical with Lord Krishna, for she embodies the mellows of love. The energy of Lord Krishna is identical with him. Krishnamai has two different imports. First, a person who always thinks of Krishna both within and without, and who always remembers only Krishna. Wherever he goes or whatever he sees is called Krishnamai. Also, since Krishna's personality is full of love, his loving potency Radharani being non-different from him is called Krishnamai.
Yeah, so it means also that she embodies that love. She's full of love. So either she's full of Krishna or she's full of love for Krishna. Both apply. Okay, text 87. Krishna vancha purti rupa kare aradane ataiva radhika nama purane vakane. Juno, would you like to read?
Yes. Her worship, Aradhana, consists of fulfilling the desires of Lord Krishna. Therefore, the Puranas call her Radhika. The name Radha is derived from the root word Aradhana, which means worship. The personality who excels all in worshipping Krishna may therefore be called Radhika, the greatest servitor.
So if you think about the way that Radharani worships Krishna, it's quite different from the way that we worship Krishna. Right? So yeah, we worship Krishna by going on getting arti tray, ghee lamp, incense, flower, chamra, singing, and saying some mantras and offering food and dressing and all that. That's our archana. But Srimati Radharani's archana is different. She embraces Krishna, she dances with Krishna, she jokes with Krishna, she yells at Krishna, she gets angry at Krishna. And yeah. Text 88. Anayaradito nunam Bhagavan Harir Ishvaraha Yanno Vihaya Govinda Prito Yamana Yadraha. Truly, the personality of Govinda has been worshipped by her. Therefore, Lord Govinda, being pleased, has brought her to a lonely spot, leaving us all behind. Srimad Bhagavatam 10, 30, 28. Yeah, so the thing is, like with worshiping Krishna, I mean, it's not just what you do for Krishna, right? That's part of it, right? There's the external, the activities. In the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Srila Rupa Goswami breaks down devotional service into different components. So he says that there's what's it called? Cheshta or cheshtita means the external activities. So it's like what you're doing. So externally, we're offering arati, or we're doing kirtan, or we're doing book distribution, and externally, Srimati Radharani is dancing with Krishna, joking with Krishna, splashing Krishna in the Yamuna, like that. But then there's also the internal component, right? The devotion, the love, the feelings, the flavors of feelings, like that. So, of course, it's not just Srimati Radharani's intimacy with Krishna is not just what she does with Krishna, but it's how she feels about Krishna. Right? So her heart, the condition of her heart, the depth of her surrender, the selflessness that she has, the purity that she has, and yeah, how she'll just do anything for Krishna, even if he handles her roughly by his embrace, or she says, even if you trample me under your feet, even if you make me brokenhearted by telling me you're going to meet me here and you don't show up at all, I still love you with all my heart. You still are my very life breath. And yeah, that's Srimati Radharani. Text 89. Ataiva Sarva Pujya Parama Devata Sarva Palika Sarva Jagatera Mata.
Therefore, the is the supreme goddess. And she is worshipable for everyone. She is the protector of all. And she is the mother of the entire universe. She is everything.
Jagatera Mata. Sarva Palika is the protector. Paramadevata, supreme goddess. Sarva Puja. Yeah, so she's worshipable because yeah, who you worship, you get the blessings of, and who you get the blessings of, then you get the qualities of. So when we worship Srimati Radharani, then we can start to get some of the blessings and the qualities. We can grow in our surrender. We can grow in these qualities of loving Krishna, wanting to serve Krishna, selfless, the quality of service being selfless service, unmotivated service, constant service, fully devotional service, and unmotivated, uninterrupted service. Yeah. So it reminded me of there was that person in Mahabharata, Ekalavya. So he was like a tribal boy, and he wanted to be very good at archery, shooting bow and arrow. So he started worshiping, he saw that Dronacharya was the best teacher, so he went to Dronacharya and he asked, can you teach me? Can I be your student? Dronacharya said, no, I teach only Kshatriyas. You don't make the grade. Anyways, because he was he was basically like outside of the Varna system. So then he became a little disappointed, but then he thought, you know what? I'll just worship him anyway. So he made this like out of mud. He made like a deity. He made like a murti of Dronacharya, and he was worshiping that murti of Dronacharya. And just by worshiping him, he was becoming really good in archery. He was thinking, this is my teacher. I'm every day offering my obeisances, offering prayers, taking his blessings, and so he was actually getting so good that one day, I think Dronacharya was out walking in the woods, and he saw that there was one jackal or something, some wild animal that was a little crazy and aggressive, and he was attacking. And then the next moment, he heard that someone shot an arrow, and then next moment he saw that jackal or wild animal's mouth was like sewn up. It was like sewn shut by the arrow, like stitches. It was like stitched. And then Dronacharya was just like, this is incredible. Like, this is like amazing archery. So then he was like, he kind of like went in the direction he saw the arrow, and then he saw Ekalavya there, and he said, is it you who has done this? And then he paid his obeisances, and he said, only by your mercy, Gurudev, I've been worshiping you, and it's only by your mercy that I've been able to get any skills. And so actually Dronacharya was a little worried, because he was seeing that this Ekalavya was like, he was practically better than Arjuna. He was like the best archer he'd ever seen in his life. And so he was worried that if there was some fight, then he could defeat Arjuna, and he didn't want anyone to defeat Arjuna. So Dronacharya said, well, if you are my disciple, then you've been taking all of my instructions and blessings and empowerment. You need to give some dakshin. And then he said, oh yes, Gurudev, whatever you ask, I will give you. Totally surrendered to you. And he said, okay, then the dakshin I ask is your right thumb. And so he immediately took out a knife and cut off his thumb and handed it over. But that meant that he could never shoot an arrow again. So it was kind of mean in one sense, but at the same time, I think it's explained there that we shouldn't worship someone without their permission, right? Like, we shouldn't just unauthorized worship. Devotional service shouldn't be whimsical. We need to actually do things properly.
Because he told him he's not going to.
He literally told him. It wasn't even a speculation. It was like he told him that you are not my student.
Yeah.
And then he just went against the wishes of his guru and became his student anyway. So it doesn't work like that. You can't disobey your teacher and think that everything's going to be nice. So, yeah. But yeah, see, so Krishna's Kaviraj is telling us here. So we're getting the instruction from Krishna's Kaviraj, one of our acharyas, and Srila Prabhupada also established the worship of Radha and Krishna. So we can worship Srimati Radharani. And by worshiping her, just like Ekalavya got all the blessings and empowerment by worshiping, so we can also get Radharani's blessings by worshiping her. Text 90. Sarva Lakshmi Shabda Purve Kariyachi Vyakyana Sarva Lakshmi Ganetingho Hana Adishtana. Is it you saying?
I've already explained the meaning of Sarvalakshmi. Radha is the only original source of all the goddesses of fortune.
So now he's explaining this name, Sarva Lakshmi. So one meaning is that she's the source of all the Lakshmis. 91. Kimva Sarva Lakshmi Krishnera Shadvida Aishvarya Tanra Adishtatri Shakti Sarva Shakti Varya.
Or Sarva Lakshmi indicates that she fully represents the six opulences of Krishna. Therefore, she is the supreme energy of Lord Krishna.
So Lakshmi also means, right, fortune, the goddess of fortune. So it can mean the actual goddess of fortune, who brings opulence to everyone, or Lakshmi can mean the opulences, themselves, the six opulences of Krishna. And so those opulences are all expansions of Srimati Radharani. Srimati Radharani is Krishna's only consort. He says she is his only possession. And his wealth is all nothing but Radharani. Text 92. Hate Sarva Lakshmi Ganera Shobha Haya Yanha Haite. Divya?
The word Sarvakanti indicates that all beauty and luster rest in her body. All the Lakshmis derive their beauty from her.
So Kanti, yeah, splendor. So all the luster, all the effulgence, all the, like if someone's very beautiful, they're like glowing, they're like radiant, right? If someone's beautiful, you say they're looking, it's not just that they have beautiful features, but they have a brightness to them. They have like a radiance that makes them very beautiful. Otherwise, somebody can have nice eyes, nice nose, but if they're just like kind of like dull, downcast face, then their beauty becomes clouded, right? Becomes like the sun under a cloud. So that Kanti is actually what makes a beautiful person beautiful. So that is Srimati Radharani. And all beauty comes from her. All the Lakshmis get their beauty from her. Anyone who has beauty anywhere in creation, that beauty comes from Srimati Radharani. Text 93. Kimva Kanti Shabde Krishna Saba Icha Kahe Krishna Sakala Vancha Radate Rahe. Nikesh?
They also mean all the desires of Lord Krishna. All the desires of Lord Krishna rest in Srimati Radharani.
So Kanti can also come from the word kam, which means desire. So all Krishna's desires. So Sarva Kanti means all Krishna's desires. Rest in, she is the embodiment. Oh, the sun there. That's nice. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. I'm playing with the Zoom people. So let's see. Yeah, so Krishna desires one thing, and that's Srimati Radharani. And everything desirable for Krishna is there in the embodiment, is there in the personality of Srimati Radharani. And she alone has the capacity to fulfill all the desires of Krishna. So that's Sarvakanti. 95. Jagat Mohana Krishna Tanhara Mohini Ataeva samastera paratakurani. Did I skip one? Oh, 94. Oh, sorry, 94. Radhika Karena Krishnera Vanchita Purana Sarvakanti Shabdera E Artha Vivarana. Srimati Radhika fulfills. Oh, didn't we read that though?
We did the
No.
couple. We did the couple.
Oh, okay. Srimati Radhika fulfills all the desires of Lord Krishna. This is the meaning of Sarva Kanti. So, yeah, one thing is that all his desires rest in her. In other words, there's nothing that he desires that apart from her. He doesn't desire anything outside from her because ultimately everything desirable is an expansion of her. And then the other meaning is that she is fully capable of fulfilling all Krishna's desires. So he desires her and she fulfills his desire. That works out well for Krishna, right? Text 95. Jagat Mohana Krishna Tanhara Mohini Ataeva Samastera Paratakurani.
Lord Krishna enchants the world, but Sri Radha enchants even him. Therefore, she is the supreme goddess of all.
Okay. Text 96. Radha Purna Shakti Krishna Purna Shaktiman Dui Vastu Vedanai Shastra Paramana. Sneha?
Shri Radha is the full power. Krishna is the full power. The two are not different, as evidenced by the revealed scriptures.
Okay, so Krishna is the powerful or the powerhouse, and Radharani is the power coming from that powerhouse. So in one sense, they're not different. 97. Mriga Mada Tara Ganda Yaicheya Vicheda Agni Jwalate Yaiche Kabunahi Beda.
They are indeed the same, just that musk and its scent are inseparable, or its fire and its heat are non-different.
Mhm. Remember we were saying, I was explaining about the sun and the sunshine. So yeah, here's another couple of analogies that musk and its scent are inseparable. So if you're sitting in the room and somebody's wearing musk, then you're smelling it and you're like, there's musk in the room, right? Even though the person might have walked out the door, but the musk is still in the room. The scent is there. Or fire, there's a fire and you bring a fire in and it warms up the place and then even the fire goes out, but it's still there by its heat or the potency. Should we stop? It's 5:01. Okay, we're gonna stop on time and continue tomorrow. So the last one we read was 95, right? No, 97. Okay. Okay, cool. Thank you for joining. Let's just see if anybody's out here and YouTube. Nope. They'll come later. Okay. Thank you very much. Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami.